Okay. So I just want to show some gameplay with uh, my current striker list because it's been a while since I've talked over a game, and I kind of want to talk about board breaking in the current format as is. And I think this is a game that really shows that. I'm playing completely board breaker deck list. This deck list I'm playing right now is hovering at around like a 60% win rate. So my opponent's going to do full combo. This deck list, it's playing no hand traps. We don't care. They do everything they want. So they're going to start with the Fiendsmith stuff. And as we're going to see eventually, they're going to bridge into White Forest. Is what they're using the Fiendsmith in. So they're doing the usual elf thing. The elf stuff is really, really freaking obnoxious for Striker because all of your stuff targets, and they get to make like 2 Omni negates and usually set like 4 back row or something absurd. This deck is pretty crazy when it gets to go off. It has like graveyard recursion and stuff. Sometimes they'll eat up their recursion in favor of being able to have a better inboard. That's gonna depend on the player. That's actually pretty frequent. A lot of games with Striker, I've had it with Rescue Ace too, where an opponent will, instead of having a more resilient inboard, wants to have a more powerful inboard. And you will be able to win games that you couldn't if they made more resilient inboards, because other decks actually just can outgrind Striker, but they usually also get an option where it's like, oh, do you want to keep this guy that floats on board, or do you want to trade it in for like something else immediate? And Striker's just really good at breaking boards, but it's terrible at killing. So as you can see, in this case, we have 3 sets. We know they have this one. This can make, what's the fusion called? The one that, like, pops and draws cards based off of what you used on the field and in hand. I think that's the purpose of Sinful Spoils of White Forest. We also know Morian, and I believe they have... there's Morian. I believe they have... What is it? Woes? Yeah. I forget what else we know, because I don't think it's a big deal. My dog's yelling. One second. Can't make me re-record this. I sat through a White Forest combo once. I've sat through too many of these combos to do it just for a video again. Okay, so we're starting off here. They have 2 negates. Our hand is okay. The main thing I actually want is 3 spells in graveyard. Activating Engage without having 3 spells in grave is just not good enough. In the modern era, you need to resolve Engage like at least twice, I think, before Striker can keep up. Basically, all of your Striker spells are good when you have 3 in graveyard, except for Shark Cannon. That's the only one that's basically just as good. Usually, I use it to get rid of graveyard resources, and the Banish is better than the Summon, unless you need to make something specific. This deck list is playing Access Code. I don't think Access Code is very necessary in a lot of these. I think Linkage is actually a really good card, and it locks you out of Access Code. And just generally things like Engage 0 locks you, which is annoying. I don't think this card needs to lock you, but I guess normal summon Ray. I don't know. I guess they're afraid of Ray being too free link material for some reason that I don't think they need to be worried about. Regardless, I don't think it's terrible for them to put balancing mechanics on decks. So it's like whatever. So we're going to start with Rhoda. Like, if they negate this, that's super great for us. Because that's why I start with it, because I don't care if they negate it, because I have Engage, and I also don't want to be likely to draw Ray off of Upstart. It makes Upstart marginally better. I do think there's an argument that you search for that you draw first and then search for Rose if you draw Ray. I just would rather avoid drawing another monster if I can help it, because Ray linkage is already like it. So I make Hayate here, thinking basically, okay, we're gonna hit here, we're gonna send Rose, and then I realize they have Morian. I don't want to actually do that line until I have multi-roll. So because I was initially just going to go straight to combat, go for it. Incidentally, they could have activated Morian. Wait, Morian's special summoned, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I gotta read these cards. Yeah, special summons. So they can't have done it earlier. So never mind, I'm stupid and I don't know how the game works. So here, this, like, drawing double engage is good. It's not how I would have preferred to have this. I would have preferred something else that forced it. Droplet, in particular, I think would have been good. But, you know, I can't control my draws. And engage is... A second engage is not bad, obviously. But here, effectively what it does, and a lot of the time what's going to happen here, is you're going to get, like, 3 cards negated. And this is why I talk you need 2 engages to resolve, and basically the other cards in your hand you need to set up. That's an important thing here, why I Shark Cannoned, is I need the 3rd spell engrave to make this engage, like, worth it. I think there's an argument that you engage without 3 engrave, so that you can later get rid of, like, Diabell so they can't recur stuff. But instead, I just was like, hey, I can get rid of Sylvie, and that'll be, like, fine here. And then I can activate Engage, and if they went, like... I actually wish they had Barone first, but... say la vie. Anyways... so we go for the called by, and that's going to make them use Barone. So that gets the negates out of the way. We can just play the game for free now. So we got, like I said before, I wanted to send Rose. There's an argument, once again here, to attack and send Rose first. And then this is lucky. I do play 3 Tactics, 3 Thrust. So I don't think it's as... lucky as it seems. Like I said, you really want to resolve 2 of this. And we're obviously going to get to do that in this game state. So we're going to summon back Rose. Rose is going to negate Diabell. This is the thing I like Elf for, is it makes... it makes Rose really nice. So we get to send for free. We're going to draw. Drawing another multi-roll kind of sucks. But it's not the end of the world. We're going SP. I'm using SP to banish Sequence because basically the idea is it makes it really difficult for them to keep their Fiendsmith stuff online. They actually have a line they missed that they could have used. And we're just completely clearing them out. Like, they're not going to have anything left after this. They summon Sylvie. They're out of targets. They summon Diabell Star, presumably after I set and try to go in phase so that I can't activate any effects. I discard my hand because if I set this multi-roll, that's no good. I need to set this Widow Anchor and I need to set the Shark Cannon because their follow-up is insane. Just like a casual reminder that this, like, breaking this board had, like, I needed to resolve, like, I think it was 3 engages for this turn. That I actually resolved. This was the starting hand was, like, fine, and then it turned crazy good. So our opponent gets to do whatever they want. So here, Shark Cannon can summon, and in this case, I think there's an argument to banish the negate so they can't summon it on later turns. But I'm actually really terrified of all their follow-up here. Especially with the Fiendsmith stuff. And if they can get 2 Light Fiends on board, they can summon, whatchamacallit, Lacrima, which means, by banishing Track, which means they can get back Sequence, which means they can go into Desiree and do whatever they want. And I want to not let them do that. They draw Rushia. At this point, I have, like, no time left, so I'm just negating everything they try to do to get more, cards? There's not a lot of thought going into this right now. They make Moon. They make Requiem. Engraver. Like, what do I care about any of this? They make Silvara. I'm like, okay, I'll get back engage. What are you gonna do? And then they go SP Little Knight so they can banish my multi-roll. I play 3, I don't care. So because I drew Droplet, I go for engage first. But they have Ash, so that was irritating. I'm summoning Rose just to push for damage. I don't think it's a big deal. It was not just to push for damage, it was push for damage in a way that I was hoping would make them use Rushia, because that gets rid of their graveyard recursion that isn't named Fiendsmith Engraver. So I just wanted to do this play right here. So we're grabbing engage, and then I can grab multi-roll. And from here, the game's pretty, like, locked up. I grab multi-roll specifically because, like, I just want to reset Widow Anchor for forever now. And then we're going to draw 2 and they surrender at that point. I like this deck. It breaks boards surprisingly well. You do have to sit through 50 years of your opponent comboing. White Force is particularly bad because it can do this thing with the Fiendsmith line, no matter what the hand is. So they'll have like really weak hands that are technically full combo if you have no hand traps, and you just have to sit and watch it, and it's kind of annoying. Right now I have like basically a 61% win rate with this deck list, which, considering that our opponent's boards are ending on like 2 Omni Negates, I think is pretty good. This is the list if you want to glance at it. I'll probably talk about it later. Yeah. There's an argument for 2 Short Cannon, by the way. I'd probably cut a Ray or a Talents. Probably Ray. Drawing 2 Ray is way worse than drawing 2 Talents. Talents is at least, like, something that can eat a Barone. But yeah. There you go. That's one of the games I played. I think it's fun. Bye.